For the fourth time, it's gone off. They turned it off. But it's not actually legal tonight for me to be stopping here like I am. To stop here and to actually be talking into a mobile is actually not, is against the law at this very moment because of the mandatory lockdown where you've got to keep moving. You're not allowed to stop and have a coffee on the street or talk to anyone or not wear a mask, all this sort of thing. It's the most, and no doubt they probably don't want me out at this time. But you are allowed to go out for necessary stuff. I just have chosen to go out at nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, actually, it just happens that way. I'm quite prepared to film any time if I can bring the mobile. But the wet night, I thought it looks... I know I shouldn't be trying to make a matrix look pretty, and it doesn't feel pretty to me because I'm in a matrix, whereas if I was in a real world, apart from getting wet, I actually think you can take one eye on that car where they've turned one light completely off. One headlight, one eye matrix, God, allegiance, community. Well, the community is the whole city, so it's not really community, but because I'm only around Leica, that's another thing too. You cannot go, you're not supposed to be going, you're not supposed to be going from too many suburbs to other suburbs at the present time either, if possible. See how that car swung around there? What are all these cars doing? See, these cars and the trucks and things you see, they're trying to pretend that they know it. Oh, that's the third police car. Gosh, perhaps I better move along because you're supposed to not be standing still. And it's no advantage to be older, but at this time it probably is because they say, hey, you shouldn't be on the street, you should be committed somewhere, so I don't know. So, but at least if you're older, they don't tend to, you could say that you're a bit out of breath because you're out of condition and you're old and got a few problems, which is not exactly untrue. I'm sorry if I'm shouting, but I can't hear myself too well. Also, I want to make sure at least I come out because I've got a mask on. Actually, it's slipping down now. It's practically not on. I better pull it up before I go into the shop. Now, this is the clearest I've seen this road. I know some people might dispute that and say that it's not so. But don't forget that if you're doing anything, if your vibration or you're feeling not too bad is rising a bit, then they will bring on more traffic or even to block out you talking and to disrupt you, all this sort of stuff with the sound and the sight show. Now, I don't know. I better move though because, see, I'm moving very slow and, you're supposed to be going. You're not supposed to be stopping. You're supposed to... my hands are frozen here. I think I'll have to finish up because I can't hold the mobile any longer. All of a sudden my hands have gone like ice, even though it's not really that cold. It's wet, but it's not as cold as sometimes the rain makes it a bit warm. But my hands, because I actually have cold hands, because I have not a high body temperature, I feel it and it goes to the extremities. So that car has, I better fold up. I was going to talk about that graffiti, but my hands are so cold, they're actually painful almost. So I don't know why that would be. See, actually the temperature's probably not anywhere near as cold as what it has been, because we're heading towards... all the bright bright lights on these trucks that they never had, bright red lights down the side at the back. Sometimes they make them extra bright as you're looking at them in the distance to draw your attention to them, to make you aware that you're being tracked and watched and that they want to control you, you know. But I better just go round here and get that coffee. And I feel very stressed, strangely enough, but I was going to talk about that graffiti. There's the bride shops over there. You can't exactly get married at the present time either, because, you know, you can't go to a church or any of that sort of stuff. Not that that was something that was ever going to be on the cards for me, but they do like to put all the bride shops around. They've got so many around like that because they know I like to look in the windows. Perhaps they're just somehow mocking my lonely existence. I often feel like it. I can't say that, because it's not like I really think that way. But they do. But you see, they know sometimes things about you that you don't know, because they've studied you and they've sort of pushed you into a certain life and into thinking a certain way anyway. There's a billboard up there. See, I can't concentrate. I feel my hands have gone like ice. They're actually sore. I'll have to fold up. And yet I wanted to talk about that graffiti. I'll have to try again. These videos have not been very successful, even though I think I'm successful in coming down to Parramatta Road for the first time, because I haven't... I'll have to stop here and just go around there and get the coffee and then go home. And I'm not supposed to be standing still here. This will make the matrix and its controlling ones not too happy. But then again, you know, I mean, you know, once you're in this situation, even the world the way it is now, even with all this, like, you can't please them anyway, because they've decided against, you know, I just see, where are these trucks coming from? Sometimes they come one after the other, really thick, and with the other traffic as well. This is actually very small traffic with them now. You know, everything is bright and loud now. And that makes, as a human being, a negative vibration, because it's aggressive, it's kind of angry. Because this used to be, has always been, a busy road. But it should be less busy now, because they've built all this underground city, they call it WestConnex, but basically an underground tunnel system under the city to take the traffic off this and other roads. This is like a main road, but it hasn't done that. But don't forget that, as was pointed out to me, and which I tried to point out, even when there's no lockdown in the middle of the day, when you would expect this road to be very busy, it's only busy where I come up here at the top of the thing. Most of them will say the WestConnex is successful. The underground tunnelling has taken most of the traffic off Parramatta Road. But they'll say, even my son says that when he goes past a block past where I am, that the traffic is thin and not heavy. But it's always heavy when I come up here. That's because, you know, they are doing that to real human beings at this time. They're doing that. And why would that be? Why would it be that only these few little blocks where I walk up on Parramatta Road that the traffic is condensed? Why would that be? It doesn't even make any sense, and yet people will say, well, that's just it. But the rest of it is fine. No, everything has been successful. There isn't traffic everywhere. No, there isn't traffic everywhere. There's only traffic around human beings. That's right. One eye symbolism on that car, because one light is brighter than the other. I'll be folding up because my hands, I can't hold the mobile, my hands are frozen. So I'll have to talk about that graffiti in relation to someone on the other side of the world, the UK. In the UK, I'm shouting and I can't hear everything, but like I've just tried to explain why. There was someone, the Englishman that I've been in contact with for a couple of years since I started making the videos. He was one of the first subscribers, and he asked me to contact him. So I did, because normally I don't communicate or even answer comments or even communicate even in the comment section of videos, not that I get many. I just don't do that because I'm not very good at being social at a computer level or any level really. But I have forced myself in recent times. But I did contact this gentleman and have spoken to him. Over the few years on the telephone from the UK. And I hadn't heard from him for a bit. At April in this year, I hadn't heard from him. And I have to say that it is hard for me, even with that, at personal relationships, even though at this time you have to contact real humans because you're outnumbered by this technical matrix crowd that is everywhere and that is patrolling and trying to control you, and basically does. Because you can't, as a human being, you can't ignore noise and sound and people around you knowing that they are stalking you. And they make no bones about that. They're not secretive about it. They're only secretive to other humans so that you look insane. And that's the whole purpose. They hope that it will gaslight you to the point of insanity. And until you realise what they're doing, it very nearly does. And even when you do realise, you're still not concentrating or in your right frame of mind most of the time. In fact, hardly any of the time. But if you really know what's going on, and you do eventually, then you force yourself to try to focus on trying to survive it, because you know that their aim is the opposite. So it gives you that, even though you don't really want to actually almost survive in this reality, because they're doing that and trying to take your life, but also trying to take your full life from you. Not only stop you from living while you're in this matrix, which is almost impossible once you realise that it is a matrix and that it's designed and controlled by those that are not here to see that you're comfortable and living as you would want to live. That's not the purpose of it. They want to only get negative energy out of you. So therefore they have to harass and suppress and make you unhappy all the time. That's the only way they can get negative energy out of a real human being who basically is most human beings desire to be positive and content and even happy, shall we say. No human being wants to live in misery, but the Matrix crowd, they do. They enjoy misery, they enjoy suffering, they enjoy inflicting, stress and pain and suffering onto human beings. That's what they're here for, and they enjoy it because they get energy from it. Our negative energy is their life source. They're the reverse of human life in every way. I have to fold up. My hands are aching here. They're so cold, so I need to put the mobile down because I can hardly. that bus shouldn't even be on the road because it's a Burwood bus and they should have stopped by now. But you see, they do what they like because they know that I'm the only one that can see it at this time. So, and most are in collaboration with the Matrix anyway. So they are going to make. If you pointed it out, they would make up some ridiculous reason why things are not even running to schedule or not as they normally should even be. I have to fold up I can't. But anyway, I was just going to say, I'll just say it quickly here. The Englishman that, yes, I'm going to try to be light, be positive here and say the Englishman, Mr. Sean Thomas Warwick, and yes, I am and still am Patricia Tixie Gilligan, by the way, if I'm around. That's all I am. I'm just Patricia Tixie Gilligan. Mainly Tixie Gilligan, T-I-X-Y, because all the rest is connected to the Matrix. The Matrix takes your thinking, uses it, gives it to its demigods and to the computer and to those that are even making videos like myself on the computer. But, you know, if you're successful and you're making something out of it, you probably downloaded my and every real human's consciousness onto it. I don't know if I've explained that well, but I see it all the time where you think something and then someone else has put it in a different way, but because they know that only real humans have any sense. All these ones that are driving these buses, Matrix. Look at the number of buses that are now starting to come. I'll be stuck with this to walk back after I've got the coffee because they play possum when I'm filming. But there's still too many buses, even in total lockdown. Nothing open. They can't be picking up people. See how he's flashing? That's not going to come out that he's flashing the light. But that rain is coming down there. But it does make for a shiny, pretty street or road. So even though this was a busy road, I used to not find it that bad. Even in peak hour, the noise didn't drive me round the twist. You know, and this is like there's hardly any traffic here tonight by comparison. Even though, yes, we still have buses. See, I would probably find it even harder to concentrate if I didn't have the Bluetooth stuck in my ears because I hear they're coming on now a bit. Oh, my hands are frozen. You know, I can hardly hold the mobile. I'll have to finish up. My son's just pulled up there on the motorbike, so that's it.